was a Peace Corps guy. I was a volunteer from 1984 to 1986.
Desde Cuenca, Ecuador para el mundo.
Chris Gilson says his experience as a Peace Corps volunteer has greatly influenced his own life, and with the economy in the doldrums, his job as a Peace Corps recruiter has been much easier. Suddenly, folks want to trade in their domestic U.S. lives for places like Ecuador, where Chris spent his volunteer years.
We invite people who may be interested in Peace Corps to come and meet recruiters and meet return volunteers, learn more about the agency and the application process. We have videos that we show them and question and answers.
Gilson and returning volunteers say part of the deal is getting to experience the fabric of Peace Corps life. Seen here are street scenes from Ecuador's third largest city, Cuenca. On any given day, you might catch a street funeral procession like this one, or street vendors of all ages selling everything imaginable. Chris says be prepared to see things in a developing country that you don't normally see in the States, but the trade-offs, says Gilson, are many. In Ecuador's case, that trade-off translates into some of the world's most beautiful and diverse landscapes, all contained within a landmass about 10,000 square miles smaller than the state of Virginia.
Ecuador has to be one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It has the Andes Mountains that cross it right through the middle.
Some of that Andean real estate he's referring to can be checked out in Ecuador's capital city of Quito on a ride in the Teleférico, a gondola that rides atop this volcano.
Es muy divertido porque ayuda a la gente del turismo a conocer.
Way up on top, you'll find some of the country's indigenous tribes living almost 13,500 feet above sea level in the same way that they have for thousands of years.
On the inland side, it's the Amazon basin, basically. So tributaries of the Amazon River that flow into the Amazon. It's actually the Napo River, it's called.
Volunteers are typically spread out across three broad regions: Africa, Asia, and of course Latin America, like you see here. The jobs workers do will vary depending on volunteer abilities and of course the needs of the Peace Corps. Now, there are about 8,000 Peace Corps volunteers currently serving throughout the world.
There are certain skill sets that are typically difficult for us to find, which can be things like agriculture and forestry. We're also, interestingly, finding it harder to find French speakers, so that's what we call a scarce skill these days.
The number of people showing up to sign up for Peace Corps jobs has about doubled since last year, according to Gilson, and many of those folks are locals.
Generally from people who live nearby who either have heard about Peace Corps and are just interested in learning more, or who've already started the application process and say they may be halfway through and they have some questions, so they'd like to talk to somebody here in recruiting. So we get a wide range of people.
Now, getting a new life perspective with new life experiences sometimes means working with animals you may never have heard of, like the tapir, which is an Amazonian rainforest mammal. And of course, be careful not to leave anything nearby for monkeys to grab, like a tripod. And if you don't like spiders, well, some of them are friendly.
And on the coast side, it has wonderful beaches.
De cerca, yo cerca de donde la señora Ida.
It changes your perspective on life, I would say. That may sound a bit grandiose, but from the standpoint of giving yourself the opportunity to see a new culture, learn a new language, make new friends, both friends who you serve with in Peace Corps and then friends in the community where you serve, it's an opportunity to change your life. And for most volunteers, I think they would agree that it's a change for the better and a unique opportunity to live really at the grassroots, to live in a village and to really get to know a place and get to know yourself in the process.
This
We're having both the economy and also President Obama's call to service are both having a very positive impact in terms of the number of applications that we're getting. Applications are every month, every week increasing, and so our challenge now is to find a place to put them all.
Oh yeah!
That wasn't amazing.
Cada paso que doy, en cada dirección que estoy, haces falta, tanta falta como aire a respirar. Gracias.